Unit 2 is about how budgeting helps consumers balance income, spending, and their saving goals. We break this unit into 3 sections: pay and benefits, which is what we'll talk about today, taxes, specifically federal income taxes, and then finally budgeting. So, what are our goals for this particular section? We want to make sure we understand pay, benefits, and incentives that employees have. Compute payroll deductions and net to calculate your net pay. Identify optional and required employee benefits and recognize their value. And then finally, work arrangements and organizations to prepare you for your profession. So, gross pay, deductions, and net pay. What does that all mean? Gross pay comes with your hourly wages or your salary. Hourly wages can earn overtime, anything over 40 hours. Your salary is going to be a negotiated pay for a year, broken down into various pay periods depending upon your employer. And then commission is going to be that productivity for percent of sales that you generate for the company. When you calculate your gross pay, you need to subtract your deductions, and those deductions are going to come from taxes which are required, such as federal, state income taxes, Social Security, and Medicare, or optional deductions, such as health care, insurance, and such. When you subtract that, you get your net pay. That net pay could also be perceived as take-home pay, your spendable income. If you do not work for an employer and you work for yourself, you may earn self-employed pay. And that's where you have pay equal to the company's profits, and you pay taxes on a quarterly basis. So how do you calculate pay? Hourly pay is your hours worked during any pay period times your pay rate, your hourly wage in which you were hired at. Overtime pay is going to be your pay rate times how many hours you worked over 40 in that pay period times 1.5. So they're paying you above your hourly pay rate to work those extra hours beyond your 40-hour work week. Annual salary is divided by the number of pay periods in which your employer is established to determine your gross pay. And your commission salary are going to be your sales achieved times the commission percent that you've been given. Now let's talk about pay periods. How can employers pay you different times throughout the year? Your employer may choose to pay you weekly. There's 52 weeks in a year, which means you would have 52 pay periods. Bi-weekly pay is getting paid every other week, such as every other Friday. And that's 26 pay periods in a year, calculated by taking that 52, dividing it by every 2 weeks, getting you 26 pay periods in a year. Bi-monthly pay means bisecting that month, cutting it in half and getting paid twice a month, such as maybe May 1st and May 15th, which would then mean with 12 months in a year, you have 24 pay periods. And then finally, you could be paid monthly, getting paid once a month on a set date, giving you 12 pay periods in a year. Your deductions are subtracted from your gross pay. Your required deductions are going to be your withholding income taxes, such as federal and possibly state, that will vary by what income you make and what states you live in. Not all states require state income tax. The state of Missouri is a state that requires a state income tax to be paid. States that do not require a state income tax would be Florida and Tennessee and Texas. You also will have to have Social Security deducted from your paycheck, which represents 6.2% of your gross pay, and then the employer matches the other half of that. So a total of 12.4 would be paid on your behalf to be given back to you when you are at your retirement age of 65. Medicare taxes are 1.45%, calculating just about 7.5% of your pay going to Social Security and Medicare. Potential optional deductions might be your health, dental, and vision insurance, any donations that you choose to have the employer withhold, and then your savings plan. Maybe you're involved in a 401k through your employer or a 403b through your government job. Net pay is your take-home pay, which is the amount of your paycheck that you get to spend. What kind of benefits and incentives do employers offer to entice you to come work for them? There's a lot of competition in the job market, and employers want the best employees to work for them. So what kind of options do they offer? Profit sharing is a way in which employers allow employees to put in a certain amount of their gross pay into the profit sharing plan, and when the company achieves its profit plan, they share those distributions with their employees. Some employers may give you paid vacation and holidays. Vacations typically accrue, typically a week to 2 weeks in your first year, and then accrue possibly after every year that can be added on to your time with the employer. Holidays, paid holidays off might be, say, Memorial Day, which is always on a Monday, or Christmas, or Thanksgiving, that are usually during the week. So if you work a Monday through Friday job and that employer is off during those days, you would be able to still get paid and not miss out on a 40-hour work week. Employee services, your employer may offer certain guidance and counseling and legal services on their behalf. Some employers offer child care on site, such as Mercy Hospital has a child care facility for their nurses and doctors that work there, so their children can come to work with them, and they can have a better work environment and not be worried about their children. Employers do not want sick employees at work because sick employees lower productivity as well as sick and other employees. So other employers may offer a sick pay policy in which you're entitled to so many sick days within a year. If you exceed that sick time, then you would be required to lose that money out of your paycheck, and you would not be paid for any time missed. Leave of absences policies are great to be used for short-term pregnancy leave or for taking care of a dependent family member for periods of time. 2 leave of absences are 3 months and 6 months. 3-month leave of absences, the employer is required to offer you your same job upon your return. Leave of absences for 6 months, the employer is guaranteeing you employment, but not necessarily in the same position. Employers may offer insurance as an incentive to work for them, and they may provide or cover some of your health care, dental care, or vision insurance, as well as life insurance. Bonuses may be offered to achieve sales goals or stock options as rewards for doing a great job. Pensions and saving plans help employees save money as they are employed with that employer, and then upon retirement can use those as distributions to supplement their income. If your job requires traveling, they may cover car expenses, gas expenses, insurance expenses, maybe airline tickets, food discounts, and things like that to be reimbursed to the employee on expenses paid during travel for the job. And then finally, product discounts to get employees to use and be able to communicate and share and talk about their products, offer them discounts or freebies to communicate with customers about their products. So it might be clothing discounts, or it might be free food. Employer insurance benefits are going to be health, life, and dental insurance, which a portion would be paid by the employee through deductibles, and then the employer would pay the balance. Different types of work arrangements. How many of your parents actually work Monday through Friday, 8 to 5? That's pretty non-traditional anymore, and employers have become much more flexible as far as the work arrangements in which they negotiate with their employees. Some employers may offer altered work weeks, which may provide flex time. Employees choose their daily hours. There may be a core time period in which all employees must be at work, but they could shift their time of getting to work earlier or later as long as the core time period in which all employees can be together would be consistent, say like a 12 to 3 time periods. So you might work 6 to 3, you might work 12 to 9, different for each employee based on their interest. Compressed work weeks are when employers want to shorten that work week from 5 days to 4 days. Instead of working 8-hour days, you work 10-hour days, and you work a compressed week. Lindbergh does that during the summertime. Employees work Monday through Thursday, longer hours, and then have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off. Job rotation is when an employee may rotate from one task to another during a scheduled day or week, and that's to help to promote that the employee learns a variety of different skills and does not get tied down to the mundane task of doing one single occupation. Job sharing is when 2 people share one full-time position. And then employers may choose to have permanent part-time positions where employees work less than 32 hours a week, and that helps the employer not have to pay for benefits, maybe provide sick time and other costly expenses that the employer may put out, but it also may work well for the employee so that that employee may want to have a shorter hour time period during the week, maybe work 10 to 3 so they could get their kids on the bus in the morning or get their kids on the bus or get their kids off the bus in the afternoon. And then obviously with technology, telecommuting has been a great resource for businesses, allowing employees to work from home or working from non-office spaces, such as if you've ever walked into a bread company or Starbucks and seen people working on their computers. They can do video casts, work through the internet, chat and such, and still get an effective job done. Labor unions and professional organizations may be a requirement of your particular occupation. Labor unions are a group of people who work in similar occupations organized for the benefit of all employees in these occupations paid through union dues. The purpose of the labor union is to protect the rights of those workers. And what they do is recruit new members. They collectively bargain on salaries, benefits, and working conditions with management, support political candidates who favor unions, and provide support and services to its union members. Different types of unions that are available for people to join would be craft unions, such as bricklayers and carpenters, where you have a specific craft in which you specialize in. Industrial unions are large groups of employees that have either specific skills or unskills in a particular place, such as grocery store employees are a part of the AFL-CIO. And then public employees have an opportunity to join unions, such as teachers, firefighters, and police associations. Professional organizations are there to support particular occupations that require considerable training and specialized skills. Dues may be collected as a requirement of membership. Some examples of professional organizations are the American Bar Association for lawyers, American Medical Association for doctors, and the National Education Association for teachers. The purpose of these associations is to help establish and maintain professional standards within that occupational field, provide publications that keep professionals up to date in their field and latest changes in the field, and then lobby for political action for their profession. So there are many things that we need to know about our pay and the benefits and the arrangements in which our employers provide for us. Hopefully this gives you some insight before you understand how taxes are taken out of your paycheck.